What's good, YouTube squad? Your boy X is finally back in the reaction setting at home. Your boy has been so hooked up on the goddamn Red Magic phone that I've been focusing a lot, maybe too much on gaming, and I gotta get back to the reaction type of shit. And I got some time this week to be able to do that. So we're definitely diving into a special one. You know, your boy is Demon Slayer X. Call myself that for a reason. It's mostly because of the paranormal variety of shit that happened to your boy in my life. And we got an interesting story talking about somebody moving into a new house. So it should be quite interesting. We're going to dive straight in. Forgive your boy for being a little rusty. It's been a while since I've been doing this type of shit and this type of setup. So might be little hiccups here and there. And shout out to the homie King, because homie got into an accident on his bike the other day, yesterday actually. And you know, there's something that I should say before we dive into this video. As a bike rider myself, and also being a professional driver, living most of my life out on the road, I gotta tell y'all something that will probably protect y'all and save y'all. There's this energy of hastefulness out in this world nowadays that I think y'all want to think twice about that. All right, take it easy. All right, be very calculated in your traveling, in your decisions. You want to be calculated and mindful about everything that you do nowadays. But when it comes to driving, um, one of the things that us as professional drivers that we know is like the golden rule. Not only keep distance, but take it easy. Be slow. Be cautious, because it's not just you that could fuck up. It's the other people who's not listening and doing what they should be doing. Okay, and that's clearly what happened to King. He was doing what he was supposed to be doing. It's always the other person. All right. So, and when it comes down to that, even deeper, the insurance companies might not see that through. Okay, so be very careful. Let's go ahead and dive into this shit. Let's go ahead and dive into this shit, y'all. Alright, yeah, my mom moved into a haunted house.
This is a story about my mom moving in a haunted house. I can't make this up. This is a story that I would never forget. Like, as I'm thinking about it, I see it. I was about 17 years old. My mom moved in her house when I was 17. 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. Nice home. We are excited to be there. On this particular day, she just moved in. So how my family is, when you just move in a home, everybody wants to come over because everybody wants to see the house.
Yup.
So everybody come over, so everybody can see the house or whatever. So my mom was like, well, let's just have a barbecue. Let's just have a cookout. So everybody like, bet, we're going to bring food. Everybody going to bring something. We're going to have a whole barbecue. I'm excited. My mom in the kitchen cooking. It's 10 of us. So all me and all my sisters and brothers was there. Aunts, uncles, cousins. Big party. Y'all know how we get down. Okay?
Damn, they had a big party the first day. Damn.
We set up the backyard. We got the grill going. Everybody starts to coming in and bringing gifts, bringing food, bringing bottles, all that good stuff. It's too about to be a party.
Yeah, they throwing it down. First day.
At this time, it's like probably like 8. Everybody probably got over there around 6. So everybody about like almost like feeling it. You know what I mean? Everybody started drinking already, line dancing, having a good time. At this moment, I'm like, okay, I gotta go to the bathroom or whatever. So I let my mom know I'm going to the bathroom or whatever. She's like, girl, go ahead. You ain't gotta tell me you gotta go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom or whatever. So me and my cousin is like this close, and I don't know. I was just like, you don't want me to the bathroom? She was like, girl, I'm not walking you to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom, cause it's a new house. Y'all know how sometimes in new houses you be like, all right. I walk up, I go in the house.
Hold up a minute.
I walk up this.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, like, wait, did y'all not get the feel for the house before these people came in? But clearly not, because this is the first day, and they're throwing parties, they're drinking, line dancing. That's some intense shit. Some intense shit. Maybe they just did that just to kind of like welcome themselves into the house or whatnot. That's some wild shit, y'all. Anyways, let's continue.
Steps. But as I'm walking up the steps, it got weird. Like I felt this weird presence, but I knew everybody was in the backyard. Like I never felt that before. Like it was just weird. I get up the top step, so I'm walking up the step. And mind you, I'm looking around because I'm already scared because it's a new house or whatever. I get up to the top step. I look around. So how the upstairs is made, you got the front room. I'm pointing behind me, so that's the front room. You got the middle room, you got the bathroom, and you got the back room. The top step in the bathroom is right here, so I didn't have to walk far. When I got to the top steps, something said, "Look to your right." Oh, I'm up the step. It said, "Look behind you." Something said, "Just look," because I felt a presence looking at me. I turn around like this, and y'all, little behold, somebody was looking directly at me. We locked eyes. Like we locked eyes. I locked eyes with this lady that was sitting on the edge of my mother's bed with a long white dress on, curls in her hair. I can see her as I'm talking about it. Like I can see her right now because that's how clear I seen this lady.
That's wild right there. But it's very very common. Quick story time. In the story time. So I think this is a very interesting thing because of what I remember when I was younger. So I gotta explain it a certain kind of way. So when I was on my way out of religion, um, it was a situation that happened, and keep in mind that I wasn't fully out of religion, and that's the problem where you're in these conflicting philosophies, this conflicting dogma that you had forced upon you, um, and you're trying to cleanse that out. You still kind of fight with it, you know what I'm saying? So certain kind of beliefs. This is just an example. You might be doing something that might be against, that might not be looked good upon in regards to like the religion's point of view. But there's 1 foot in the religion, 1 foot out. So it's not like you fully take on with the agreement of how the religion feels. I hope forgive me, y'all. It's been a while, but yeah. So I remember one time I was still smoking some reefer, right? But I was working my way out of religion. I have a particular family member who I was staying with at the time, and this was when I was way younger. Um, but yeah, I was smoking weed at the time, and I went to go leave to go smoke. And again, part of me was feeling that I shouldn't probably be doing this, especially when living with this particular family member, because they was heavy in religion. So I know that them knowing me doing this would definitely, they would look down upon it. But anyways, I left the house to go do my business, right? And when I came back, this particular family member was in the living room. As soon as I walk in, the living room's right there, and they was like just coming out of sleep. And they said that they saw either a woman in a red dress walking into my room or walking out. I think she said walking into the room. And just now it's giving me a little bit of chills right now because I remember when they first told me that, and it made a lot of sense because I didn't really experience anything at this particular time in my life. This was way after me fighting the demons, learning to fight against them. If y'all don't know anything about that, y'all might have to look in the archives of the videos that I've did. But I've definitely talked about this point that I came across way earlier, like in my teens, my mid-teens, 15, 16, where I was able to fight against demons. So any kind of paranormal shit after that point, it wasn't really a bother to me. But after I heard this family member said what they seen, it kind of freaked me out a little bit because again, I was still working my way out of religion, and it made me think like, yo, is it the games that I'm playing? Because I was playing some zombie type shit, and again, you being in religion, you have these thoughts, that like, does God approve of this, or you know what I'm saying? That type of shit. So it's like this conflicting thing that your psyche deals and battles with. And that is the shit that causes issues. Okay? You got to be sure about what you're doing. And, anyways, yeah. So she told me that day. And this particular family member has the ability to see shit. Okay? Very easy. I don't know if I have that ability because I remember one time, way when I was like 5, 6, maybe 7 years old, I was able to see something, but um, never seen anything after that point. Besides years later, but it wasn't a full body apparition. What I saw years later was smoke, pretty much. All right, but yeah. Anyways, there's a lot to say here. My mind is scrambled, so let's continue. My bad, y'all.
Tight curls, black lady, sat on the side of the bed. You know how when somebody sit down, they dent the bed a little bit. That's how I seen her. That's how good I seen her. She dented the bed a
You
little
seen
bit.
some detail,
When
right?
I
Just like
say
that family
I
member.
screamed and ran down them steps so fast, I could have fell and broke my neck. Keep that in mind. I could have fell and broke my neck. I run to the backyard to get my family. When they see my face, they like, girl, what's wrong? What's going on? And I'm like, somebody is upstairs. I don't know who it is, but somebody's in mommy's room. I need y'all to go up there and figure out who this person is that's in
Her
mommy's
saying
house.
those words
Because
right
when
there.
I say I knew she was a ghost or a spirit, but she is. I seen her so clear. Like I seen her really, really clear. Everybody started running upstairs. Everybody running upstairs. So everybody's like, where at? Where at? Go in mommy's room. Mind you, I'm standing on the top of the step because I'm not going in that room. Like I already encountered her looking at me. I looked at her. I don't know what's going to happen after that. I'm not going in that room. So they in the room. They looking under the bed. They looking in the closets. They ripping sheets off the bed, blankets off the bed, all that stuff, y'all. When I say they searching, they searching. They searching around the room. They didn't see anything. They said, are you sure you seen something? I am positive. I'm not the one drinking. Y'all drinking. I'm positive. My mom like, all right, girl, well, if it was somebody there, then somebody will come back or whatever. My mom is the type of person that she's not a scary person. She's not a person that, oh my God, you seen a spirit? Oh my God, I'm scared. No, she wants to encounter it. That's how my mom was. She was like, well, it's probably a nice person. We're not going to worry about it. We all go in the back in the backyard. Everybody continue to party. Now it's around probably 10:30, 11 o'clock-ish. Now, when my family get together, they party all night long till probably 3 in the morning. Like, we don't know how to go home. Okay, everybody's back there. I'm so paranoid. I keep looking at the house, y'all. I keep looking at the house because I'm like, this lady is in there. Like, I seen her and she's in this house. Little behold, I look upstairs, the back room. I look upstairs and the back room light was on. But when I looked upstairs, the back room light was off. The lights started flickering, like she was taking the switch, going on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. Now I'm like, look upstairs, look upstairs, look upstairs. Everybody look upstairs. Everybody seen the lights going on and off, on and off, on and off.
Damn.
Now
So
everybody
everybody else saw it too. That's crazy. I was thinking that like when that happened, she would be the only one to see it. But if everybody else seen it, this was a phenomenon. This is reminding me of another story time I recently heard. I should actually do a reaction on that because that shit is it's so crazy. But basically, I try to summarize it real quick just to kind of give a little bit more context of why this might be happening. But basically, there was this woman who I think moved into a house as well, and she started having this spirit in the shape or in in the shape of like a YN, you know, with the shiesty, the fit and everything. And this particular spirit kept interacting with this woman's son. All right, he eventually showed up like as one of those imaginary friend type of things. Started playing with him, starting to being cool. But eventually, I guess the spirit started doing some things that the kid really didn't want no part of. But it was still kind of like cordial a little bit, from what I remember. But anyways, the mom was curious of this spirit that her son was like messing with, and she eventually started asking him some questions, and she eventually got a name. And then when she got the name, she started looking up the name, but at first she couldn't find anything, like on the internet when it came to this particular person's name. But at some point, she got more details from her child who's interacting with the spirit, and she gave the kid gave her one piece of information that helped her find this particular person, what happened to this particular person on the internet. And when she read it, she actually seen it with somebody who literally passed away. So I'm saying this kind of story that I kind of like did a bad job of explaining, um, to kind of show you how give another example of how this shit happens, because it's like what I know. I think I should just straight up tell y'all, but it's kind of weird. I question myself saying things straight up, not to throw y'all off, but what I know about the afterlife, you have an option to either go towards the light, which will probably recycle you back into another lifestyle or lifetime, or you have an option to carry on. But this carrying on, there's a mission, or you're supposed to head towards something specific. But people end up getting stuck in limbo. You know what I'm saying? It gets so deep. But I'll tell y'all, when it comes to trying to figure out what you're supposed to do in this particular part of life, in the afterlife, look to the older cultures, specific coffin texts, you know, Egyptian coffin texts. And that's where you'll find out that ancient religions, ancient cultures knew about this shit for a long time now. Okay? And this is why you have this phenomenon of like people being stuck, spirits being stuck in certain places. And it's not like they were really stuck voluntarily. You know, sometimes they might not know that they're done, but they're stuck in this loop. And this is because the spiritual realms, it's different, y'all. It's different. So you can get stuck in a loop and not know exactly what the fuck you're doing, as opposed to us being here and being conscious. Conscience does not work the same way that it does in the spiritual realm. All right. So, anyways, I said a lot. Let's continue.
House, run up the step. Now they in the back room. Yo, what is that? What is that? Or whatever. So now everybody like, okay, mom, yeah. It's definitely some type of spirit in this house trying to tell us something. When I say I was so scared, like the fun part left me. I don't want to party no more. I don't want to be in this house no more. I'm scared. So my mom was like, all right, well, what we have to probably do is like pray over the house. Because they do say when you move in a new house, you're supposed to pray over it because you don't know what happened before you got there. So my mom started praying in the house. My aunts and them praying. We doing a lot. They doing a lot or whatever, because it's definitely a spirit in the house. Everybody start to go home, and now everybody laughing and kikiing about it, thinking, oh, well, you got a ghost in the house. Da, 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 da. And me and my cousins are sitting there like, that's not funny. Like, this is some scary shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're scared. So my cousin supposed to have spent a night with
It's funny
me that
until you
night. She was like,
actually
I'm
have to
going
live
home.
that,
And I
right?
looked at her like, girl, I'm trying to go home with you. All right, so everybody went home. We clean up. Everything is fine. At this time, it's probably around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. My mom said, I'm going to bed or whatever. And I was like, you going to sleep in that room? She was like, yes, I am. I'm going to bed. So her and her friend go upstairs, go to bed. Me and my brothers and sisters are downstairs. Like, mind you, we're shook. Like, we're scared out of our mind. We down there talking about it, and I'm like, I'm not going to sleep. I'm trying to stay up, but I'm so tired. My eyes cannot stay open. I end up falling asleep. All of a sudden, this whole boom, and it wakes me up. And I'm like, wake up, wake up, wake up. To my sisters and them, I'm like, what was that? I hear my mom upstairs like scream, like what the, like making noise, like what the hell is going on, blah, blah, blah. So we go upstairs, and little behold, my mom is on the floor. Her and her friend is on the floor. The bed is flipped over.
Damn.
The
bro.
lady flipped the bed
That's
over.
crazy.
Flipped my mom out the
That's
bed.
absolutely crazy. At first, I was thinking that the mom going into the room with that type of energy, knowing that she doesn't give a fuck what the spirit does, that's going to protect her. But now hearing this shit is like, damn, okay. You know, to be honest with y'all, like when it came to the bed, that was always like the scariest thing to me. Like if a spirit messed with my bed, like from the shaking, and then you see some kind of like stories of it levitating and shit coming up from underneath it. I think we did like a paranormal compilation not too long ago where it had this particular video of a young girl trying to get a toy that was going off because the spirit was messing with it, and she climbed under the bed to like get it, and spirit pulled her under, and you saw it on video. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. So you know, there's so many questions more. Listen, I know a lot, but there's more questions than what I know. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how do people go through these situations? Because you hear so much about it, even something as vague or not to an extreme degree as nightmares. Like your boy never had a nightmare before, except one time when I was a kid, and this was where all the initial paranormal shit started. But the nightmare for me was like this giant, massive black cat, like chasing me, and I think I got away, you know. But that's the only nightmare I've ever had my whole life. But when I hear other people's stories, like an ex of mine, you know, the mother of my kids, they seem to have nightmares like quite often, and other people, like some friends, it's like what's the difference here? What is the difference? That's what I'd be questioning, and I think that's a whole discussion for itself. But I never heard no bed flipping over with the people on it. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Or maybe the bed was like shaking and then they jumped off. It was like, oh fuck this shit, and the ghost still like flipped it. I don't know. Let's see.
Now we like, hold on, like this is getting out of hand. We just moved in. So my mom's like, yeah,
First
this is
day.
an angry spirit or whatever. So it got so bad, y'all, she couldn't sleep in this room because it was a dark, deep feeling that kept coming over my mom. So my mom wound up taking her mattress and taking the mattress downstairs into the living room. We're all sleeping downstairs in the living room because we're all nervous now.
Crazy.
While we're all sleeping downstairs, it's like this lady couldn't stop. I forgot to tell y'all, when we moved in, it was this cat that was there. And my mom loved cats. So she let the cats.
Oh shit, I probably think it went to another video. Let's go back. Let's click on part 2.
Part 2 of my mom moving into a haunted house. So where I left off at is, it was a cat living in the house before we even moved in.
What?
But my mom is like, she loved animals, so she kept the cat. And she was like, I'm not gonna, throw the cat out. I'm gonna let the cat stay with us. We're okay with it because my mom's the type that pick up strays. Like, she'll pick up a stray and that's her animal.
Yeah,
and
be
we was
careful
used
doing
to it.
that.
But the cat was weird. The cat never left the bottom of that step. The cat slept on the bottom of the step. And then it got a little angry when you walked past her at the bottom, from the bottom of this, like going upstairs. She got angry when we passed that bottom of the step and we didn't know why. Mind you, the bottom of the step has like it must have broke, so it's a board at the bottom of the step because it was missing a piece. So I guess that's the way they fixed it. They put a board up and she stayed in that area. And I'm looking like, that was weird. So
It is weird.
the cat started getting really like real angry with us or whatever. And my mom was like, something wrong with this cat, because she had hiss at us. Like, when a cat is so angry they show their teeth and they hiss at us. That's how she was. And the crazy part is it was a black cat. No lie.
What the? Well, don't blame it on the color. Nah, man. It could be, black cats get this bad stigma attached to them. It's not just because it's a black cat, but listen, with that type of behavior, it's a possibility that that's not even a cat to begin with. Now, I know about that because of the Haitian culture and what they come up with. The part of their stories, some of their stories, they have what's called a loup-garou, which I believe is a witch that's able to transform themselves into different creatures. I think there was also like one that transformed themselves into a chicken. Crazy shit. And I definitely believe that's a possibility when it comes to certain type of magic that you can do. It gets so deep and crazy. But yeah, when a cat was living there before you actually moved into there, that's quite what this really reminds me of, or is compelling me to say, is that like the things that you bring into your house or have in your house could cause these type of things to happen, these paranormal things. And that's where you want to be very, very mindful. And to be mindful, you kind of have to have this experience of unwinding the distractions that this world puts on you. And I'm saying that just mainly for today's standards, because today we're just bombarded with distractions left and right. So this innate ability to feel an object out, that you are not probably familiar with, and just focus on it, meditate on it, and just to see if you have any bad feelings. People don't do that. But that's what you should do, like when it comes to bringing certain things, or just perceiving what the hell is going on with the thing. And then in this case, it being an animal. If the animal is hissing and doing some crazy shit and staying in one damn spot where people have to walk up or walk past, and it's hissing at you like, get the fuck back. Like, that's it's telling you something, right? That's all. Let's continue.
My mom said we're going to get rid of the cat because it was a mean ass cat, so she didn't want it. So my mom threw the cat out. Mind you, the cat never left the house. She threw it out. My stepdad even drove this cat somewhere, dropped it off. The cat came back to the house. Now they do say when animals know where they live, they usually come back.
That's
but that cat came back quick. Took no time. The cat stayed outside the house the whole time. The whole time we're there, the cat was still there. All right. Mind you, the bed is still in the living room and we're all still sleeping downstairs because, like I said, we're still scared. This one particular night, we're all asleep downstairs and it happens again. My mom's bed gets flipped over again.
That's crazy, bro.
While my mom's bed gets flipped over, the lights in the house, not just the upstairs light in the backyard that I told y'all in part 1, all the lights in the house start flickering on and off. It was like this spirit was telling us to get the fuck out my house, like leave. So now my mom is like, I have to know the backstory on this house. Like, definitely haunted, and this lady is trying to get us out her house.
Shout out to what seems to mostly be women that get to a point like that and they're like, all right, before we jump to conclusions and before we leave with our tail between our legs, let me figure this shit out. So maybe there's something we can do here. And again, I'm saying this in a way where it's like, yo, the people who actually get to to a point like that, that's got to be something serious, right? That's not no average thing that people go through. So for you to be that freaked out, get your bed flipped over, and then you'll be like, man, I need to look up who the fuck died here or something before I leave. That's almost damn near unheard of, like when it comes to me. But yeah, quite interesting. And again, like that little quick story that I said, I'm pretty sure she's going to find something. So let's see what's up. Let's see what's up.
Can't even sleep. It was so bad, y'all. We could not sleep.
That's
My
crazy,
mom
though.
started asking the neighbors
Never heard of being that consistent
about the house or whatever.
in the
Like, did y'all
series.
hear anything about the house? And one neighbor was like, well, I know some lady used to live there or whatever, but we don't know. I don't know what happened to her, but we know a lady used to live there. And when she said a lady used to live there, if y'all remember part 1, the story I told y'all, that was the lady that was living there. So now we got to find out what happened to her because she's angry. Mind you, she's
Hold on a
been
minute,
living
though.
there
Hold on a minute.
because she's angry. Mind you, she's been living there for years. She's angry.
Who's angry?
What happened to her? And we got to find out that was living there. Y'all, that was the lady that was living there.
Y'all forgive me.
Part
I
1. She said a lady
missed
used to live there.
something.
If y'all remember part 1, the story I told y'all, that was the lady that was living there. So now we got to find out what happened to her because
Okay.
she's angry. Mind you, she's been living there for years, they said. Years. But like they said, they don't know what happened. So now we like, okay, we have to investigate because it got to the point my mom was like, we're going to have to move because y'all, when I say we came downstairs one day and the whole kitchen was rearranged, not rearranged, but the cabinets was open. Every last cabinet in that kitchen was open. So we couldn't get comfortable in the house. This lady was not letting us get comfortable in this house. Like when we go to sleep, we would hear different things. Now, I didn't hear her opening up the cabinets. My mom didn't either. I guess we was hard sleeping, like my sisters and brothers too. But mind you, the bed ain't come upstairs though. My mom was on the floor upstairs because she was tired of sleeping downstairs in the living room. So she wound up going upstairs and just sleeping on the floor. And like I said, we went down, seen all the cabinets open. We proceeding to close all the cabinets. Now my mom is like, I have to talk to somebody about moving because this lady is not rested. And she's not going to be rested until we get out. The cat never left. The creepy sounds in the house was definitely scary. I kept staying over my cousin's house because I was so scared. Like I didn't even want to eat in this house no more. I was so scared. So my mom was talking to another neighbor. So the neighbor was like, oh yeah, the lady that lived there had died. So my mom was like, oh, how? Like what happened? So the neighbor proceeds to tell us the story on how the lady passed away. So the neighbor was like, yeah, she passed away in a house. Tragically, not like in her sleep or anything. They said the lady wound up falling down the steps and breaking her neck. Do y'all remember the story? In the first story I was telling y'all, I felt like I was about to fall and break my neck running down the steps. Yeah.
Sure.
The lady wound up falling downstairs and she broke her neck and died in the house at the bottom of the step where that cat was not leaving that spot. Like I told y'all in part 1 about the cat staying on that bottom step and not leaving. When she fell down the steps, she wound up breaking a piece out of the
Step.
bottom of the step. That's why that board
That's
was there. They
crazy.
boarded
It's
it up,
crazy.
so
Damn.
so they can sell the house or whatever. So she died tragically, but her spirit never left the house. So the lady was telling us
You
that
know,
my mom.
real quick. No, I just remembered something. Cats are supposed to be like a guide to people in the afterlife. It's something I heard, and I think that's something that the ancient Cometians used to go by. So that's why they love having cats so much. And I wonder with the cat's behavior if that's what it's doing. But the person who like passed away, they still like because we don't know what happens like once you transition to that state. We don't know how it is. But clearly there's some kind of disconnect from how this world operates that you're not acclimated to where you get stuck. Um, and this cat is like trying to do its best to protect that spirit. I don't know if that's a thing, but I don't know. Just a thought. This shit is
Was
so
the
damn
first
interesting.
person to move in after the lady passed away. The house was not occupied since she died. So we was the first people to come into this house. They did say she was a sweet lady. They said the lady was really, really nice, never bothered nobody. She'd have people come to her house, not that many, but people come to her house sometimes, and she'll run to the store and stuff like that. Like she was a person that got around and was, running her errands and doing her thing. A normal person life, like normal life. So when she died in the house, they said, yeah. So my mom was like, okay, because it is a cat in it, a cat that's not. They was like, yes, that's her cat. That cat never left that house. They said when they redone the house, they couldn't get the cat out the house. The cat never left the bottom of the step. She didn't ever want to leave. So now we feeling like, dang, like we did throw the cat out. So my mom was like, well,
Throw the cat
we're
out.
moving. So when I move, I'll bring the cat back in the house because the cat know that's the last place that he's seen his owner is at the bottom of the step. Mind you, we only lived in this house for about 3 months. We didn't live in this house that long. So for us to have to pick up and move again was a lot. And the neighbor was telling us that the lady died tragically. They don't know how she fell in a step, but they know she fell in a step and broke her neck. And of course, it was a hard fall if you break in the bottom of the step. When I heard this story, it was a sad story. So now I'm like, dang, that's it's really sad that she's not at peace. That her spirit is still
It
lingering
might
on.
not even be her, cause what I hear, um, people, yeah, this woman probably passed away, the way that she did, the tragic way that she did, and it's not like she's the one who's causing all this crazy shit in the house. That could be a thing. Um, but what it sounds like from all the stories that I've heard over the years, it seems to be that most of the time the spirit that passes, they keep their kind of demeanor. But there are other beings in the astral realms or in the spirit realm where they want to control the spirit that just got there. You know what I'm saying? And that's where shit could go left at. So it's a very, very scary thought. That's why, listen, don't get so wrapped up in what the hell is going on in this world. Maybe think about like what comes afterwards because listen, the whole purpose of this life is to test you and to make sure you figure something out. I think that figuring what you got to figure out is going to be different for everybody. But yeah, you want to be sure of like what you're going to be doing after you leave here, because you don't want to get stuck. All right, because there's some bad, just like it, and it's just like life. You can have these bad people around you that would try to manipulate you if you're not up to a certain kind of mentality, strength. I don't know how to put it, but yeah, the same thing applies in the spirit realm. So reinforce yourself, sharpen yourself. You know what I'm saying? Focus on the spiritual things.
in this house, and she don't know, she don't want nobody there. So we was telling my family about it, and my mom just started searching for a new house. Mind you, we never had a chance to fix up our rooms because she wasn't allowing it. My mom never had a chance to put her bed back in the front room because she was not allowing it. My mom barely could sleep in the front room because I guess that was her room. Mind you, in part one, I was telling y'all that's where I see her at, in the front room. So by that being her room, she's like, I don't want nobody in it. So my mom talked to her landlord, and he was, apologetic, and he was like, at first he didn't believe it. He thought she just wanted to get out of her lease or whatever. But she was like, I like the house. I love the house. I don't want to leave, but I can't stay here. This lady is not at rest, so I have to move on. So he finally let us out the lease. We did find a house or whatever. We wound up packing up to move out. But the night before we packed up, she started flickering the lights on and off again. The TV upstairs came on in her room. That it was like, that's the last straw. I was so happy we was about to move, y'all. Till this day, me telling this story, I can see it still visually. I believe in spirits now because after that, I ain't. This is a story about.
I think there's a part three, too. But yeah, I think she should have looked at what channel that was. That the TV went to. Hold on, is that the? There was only two parts. Okay.
Did you guys know that when you visit a loved one at a grave site, it's like the longer you sit there and talk to your loved one and connect with them and just be there. Do you know when you leave, you can bring spirits home with you? That's a thing. You can definitely bring home a spirit. That's another story time, but let me give y'all a brief snippet of it. My aunt lived in this house. She always walked through the grave site to get home. And she wound up bringing a spirit home that got so mean that it used to throw things at her and my cousins.
Those are the most craziest stories, period. And I've definitely heard multiple stories like that. But yeah, guys, that's the end of the story time. Quite some crazy shit. And also, too, I don't think this woman has. She didn't make a part three, so I guess we're not really going to know. Unless she does another story time on what she was just talking about with the graveyard stuff. But what I've noticed, even personally, that sometimes leaving the house where all this shit's going on does not cure the situation. It does not cure what the hell's going on. Sometimes it seems like that shit follows you. And that's definitely seems to be the case with me from New York moving down to Georgia. The first the first two houses, first two places that we stayed. Actually, we stayed with a family member, like my aunt, my uncle, and my two cousins for about like a month before we actually moved into a house after leaving New York, and there was nothing going on there. But the first place in Georgia wasn't too bad, not too crazy, but yeah, you can feel this energy, and every once in a blue moon there'll be some weird shit. But the second house, that was where the most intense, crazy shit happened, kind of. But yeah, anyways, that's following some shit from New York and hearing some other people's stories. It's like it's like it's got this sad disappointing like energy to hear that somebody will try to run or leave the place where all this shit's happening, and for it to end up happening again. That's why again, there's more to the shit than meets the eye. Okay, so you want to look internally when it comes to shit like this. Now that's a whole video for itself. Make sure your heart is as light as a feather. That's the best way I could put it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure there's no bad part inside of you. Alright? But that doesn't mean like be no pushover. But let me not get too sidetracked with shit. Peace and prosperity to all y'all. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to the video. Doesn't hurt. And stay tuned. Alright? I'll catch y'all later.